If you are newish to the business world, this will not shock you. But back in the day, the primary way someone learned about your brand was through your sales team. Today, we all have supercomputers in our pockets. By the time a buyer meets your sales rep, or even AI summarizes your category, their decision is mostly made. The shortlist is formed, the obvious answers are already in the room. That's why so many companies are shrinking sales headcount and reinvesting those dollars in digital marketing. And it's why the work that you and I do now is so important. But there is a catch. If your brand isn't respected in the pre-pipeline moments, the activities that are leading up to your sales team picking up the phone, you won't get a response, let alone a demo. You'll get polite ghosting and a wide open calendar. We used to treat this as a top of the funnel problem. So we would publish more, we would try to rank higher, and we would pray harder. In an AI shaped market, though, volume doesn't win. Signals win, corroboration wins. The brands that show up consistently are the ones with evidence people can lift, quotes that analysts can reuse, and definitions that the machines can safely parrot without getting yelled at by the internet. This isn't content marketing anymore. We've moved into visibility engineering. Think about how real buyers buy. Think about how you buy. You Google, yes, still. You read reviews, you ask an AI for a recommendation, you bounce to YouTube or to TikTok for a quick explainer, you might look for some reviews or comments on Reddit, you skim an analyst note if the purchase warrants it, maybe you direct message a peer for the what's it really like take. We talked last week about the collapsed funnel. This is what it looks like in the wild. There is good news, though. You can engineer this. Marketing and communications matter now more than ever. You don't need 200 blog posts. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't need to be all things to all people. You don't need to go viral. You need a small set of anchor hubs that function like an evidence library. Clear definitions, points of view from credible subject matter experts, data or original research points, quotes from external experts, and assets that analysts, journalists, and AI systems can easily cite. Then you turn the PESO model crank. You use owned to prove, earned to corroborate, shared to simplify, and paid to scale what's already working. And you measure the few things that actually influence pipeline and funding. Because in this market, if you aren't cited, you aren't considered. On this week's SpinSucks podcast episode, I'll walk you through exactly how to fix that.
If you're a communications pro who works hard, doesn't compromise quality, and gets the job done, welcome home. We'll share our tips, tricks, and stories, and together we will change the face of PR. Spin sucks, but we don't. With the SpinSucks podcast, here's Gini Dietrich.
Welcome back to the SpinSucks podcast. I'm Gini Dietrich. Before we get started, I have a little tidbit for you. Did you know that if you can't finish watching right now, you can subscribe to the audio version of this show? We're on all of the platforms where you get your podcasts, including Spotify and Apple. Or you can subscribe to our newsletter at spinsucks.com, scroll all the way to the bottom into the footer, and you can do it there, and you'll get this in your inbox every Tuesday. All right, so we've talked about visibility engineering quite a bit in the second half of this year. That's because we now know that the large language models, the LLMs, get most of their content from owned and earned media. In fact, Muckrack just added more data to their What is AI Reading research and found they're citing LinkedIn, Wikipedia, and news releases. This is interesting. LinkedIn, Wikipedia, and news releases. Nearly half, 46% of AI citations on LinkedIn come from articles, not posts. 42% of AI citations on Wikipedia link to pages about processes and technologies, not to the brand pages. And AI overwhelmingly cites Global Newswire, 61% news releases. Those things are, of course, earned and owned media. A little bit of shared in there where we're using LinkedIn to distribute, but owned media from the perspective of it's our content that we've created. Great, awesome. Now let's think about how we might use that to engineer our visibility in AI search, along with using shared media to reach our audiences and paid to get in front of new ones. Here's a simple way to make this work step by step. So the first thing you're going to do is prove it with owned media. Just like in a fully integrated PESO model program, you want to start with owned. This will allow you to prove your expertise to both humans, the traditional bots, and the LLMs too. You want to treat your website as the source of truth, and then you'll use places like LinkedIn and Wikipedia as your satellite references. In the 2026 version of the PESO model certification, which is coming very, very soon, I'm still working on the scripts, but we're going to have it very soon, January. We spend a lot of time working on visibility engineering, and we expand beyond the content map to a content ecosystem. The content ecosystem starts with anchor hubs that are published on your website, and then you use those pages to repurpose into LinkedIn articles, Substack, Medium, that point back to those anchors. Right now, your anchor hubs should be written. The LLMs are not scraping video or audio yet, so you'll have to spend some time on the written word. As you do that work, make sure you're writing for discoverability, which means how it works type of content. You want to make sure your anchor hubs are the very best pages written on the internet for your topic. The very best. There should not be a better page on the internet for your topic at all. You should be creating the one, the only one. Then you're going to corroborate it with earned media. So whether or not news releases are dead has been long debated, but one thing is for sure. Newswires are accelerating your visibility in AI answers. If you want to engineer that visibility, you should use newswires as accelerants, not endpoints. Issue a news release only after your anchor hub is live, and then link the release to it. That way, anyone who picks up your release will point to the page you control, and it will also train the LLMs far beyond your release. Next, think about analysts and trade reporters. Of course, we always love to get the big tier 1 placements, but pitching analysts and trade reporters will extend your reach further with the LLMs, which is what we're trying to do here. Now you can take your anchor hub and your media coverage and package it into snackable sizes with shared media. You'll want to do things like a 1-slide chart, a 100-word methods blurb, a key findings box, a 60 to 90-second explainer. You can use video and audio on social for sure. From there, make sure to add LinkedIn articles to your toolbox, since we know the LLMs prioritize that over posts. And on YouTube and TikTok, demo the method visually. So here's how we calculated X in under 60 seconds. Caption it clearly and include the source line or the link to your anchor hub in the description or in your bio. Finally, use paid media to scale what's already working. Do not boost everything. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You do want to put a few dollars behind the highest engaged content, owned, earned, and organic shared. This will help the LLM see all of the emphasis you have put on trust and credibility and reputation. Aim your spend where it nudges reuse. So in analyst newsletters, practitioner communities, and remarketing to people who are engaged with your social media efforts. I'm not talking a huge budget either. You can spend $50 or $50,000. As long as you're amplifying what's already working, the spend does not matter. Treat paid media as the distribution plan for your best evidence, not as life support for your weakest content. With those signal stacks in place, the next move is to build your evidence library. What the heck is an evidence library, you ask? It's probably what you assume. It's a set of anchor hubs that function like reference entities or entries, grown-up definitions, transparent methods, clean visuals, and copy and pastable findings. Things that demonstrate exactly how things work without giving away confidential information. The goal is to be the place people and AI quote. Your job is not to publish more, it's to create, in essence, a reference shelf for all of your expertise. And I'm using the collective you to describe all of the experts within your organization. Start with one anchor hub. It should be one topic that frames the problem, defines the terms, shows your method, and publishes outcomes that AI can safely reuse. So what does an anchor hub include? I'm going to give you an exact outline. It's an evolution of what we used to call pillar content or cornerstone content. If you already have those pages on your website, you are so far ahead of the game. It's awesome. You'll just need to make some tweaks and refresh some content. For those of you who don't, your Anchor Hub should include the following. Number one, there are 11 things on here and I'm probably going to lose count. So I have something for you later to help. An introductory paragraph is number one. You want it to be 150 to 250 words, and it describes the pain or the challenge that your prospects and your customers have in plain English. Put that bad boy at the top of your page. This is what humans and LLMs will use to learn all about how you help to solve this particular problem. This might be the too long didn't read summary that you see at the top of lots of stories now, including at the top of our blog posts. Some of them could be a list of bullet points, while others might just be a summary paragraph. It's entirely up to you and the style of your website pages. Do what you want. Next, you'll define your solution. You want to have 1 or 2 sentences that do this. This is something that can be copied and pasted, and you'd be okay with it sitting in an article or in an analyst brief all on its own without additional context. For instance, the PESO model is an integrated marketing and communications framework that orchestrates paid, earned, shared, and owned media to build authority, generate demand, and prove results. Used as a marketing operating system, PESO aligns messages, timing, and metrics across channels, allowing programs to compound instead of compete. So that's how I define the solution. Then you want to describe your method with 100 words. And by this, I mean how you know. Is there data to support your solution? For instance, I might write something like, this guide reflects the PESO model as created by SpinSucks and refined through more than a decade of implementations across startups and global enterprises. I won't share the entire paragraph with you here, but you can use phrases such as, we combine, our approach, or we iterate. Next, you want to include some findings either from your original research if you have it, or from industry reports. Include at least 3 stats and include caveats. Spell out the sample, the time frame, how you calculated it, and any limits. You want to make each statistic copy pastable in 1 line. So for example, Anchor Hub pages built with the PESO model earn 2.6 times more neutral AI citations within 90 days. Then, in 3 to 5 sentences, you'll describe what all of this means. You'll translate your stats into practical implications for the reader, what the numbers suggest, why they should prioritize on this topic, the conditions where the real results hold and where it doesn't, and the immediate next step. For example, on the PESO model page, I have, if your goal is to be cited by analysts and surfaced in AI summaries, don't publish more posts. Tighten this PESO anchor. Link to this page when you need a neutral reference. Think about it as instructions for your reader, no matter if it's human or a bot. From there, you'll have a section on the page just dedicated to frequently asked questions. We're working on a new website and have included an FAQ section in the modules so that we can drop that section into any page. It's quite glorious. I love it. Start with 5 to 7 questions, each answered in 1 to 3 sentences, no more. Lead with the plain English answer, do not use jargon, and then add 1 proof detail or link. Next, you want to add some references. So list neutral topic relevant sources that corroborate your definitions, methods, or stats. This might be industry research, university publications, quotes from earned media efforts, your original research, and/or quotes from user-generated content. Use the source's exact page title as the anchor text and prioritize universities, standard bodies, associations, and reputable trade publications. Of course, earned media and user-generated content is great too, but I would put them at the bottom of the list. Keep this list short, 3 to 7, update it quarterly, and use consistent citation style. These links tell the LLMs that you're not full of baloney. Then you want to include some downloads. So you'll do this to make your proof portable. So offer one-click files so editors, analysts, and internal champions can reuse your work without the need for email back and forth. Some examples of downloads might include a 1-slide chart, a data table, methods, an executive brief, bios, headshots, your frequently asked questions pack, images. And then ensure an author box. So most website pages don't have a spot for an author box like blog posts do. So you can just include a sentence or two at the bottom about your subject matter expert. Written by Gini Dietrich, CEO and founder of SpinSucks and the creator of the PESO model. That's it. I know it seems like a lot, but it's just 11 sections for the pages that you deem anchor hubs. And not every page needs to be an anchor hub. You're just going to have certain pages on anchor hubs to help the LLM cite you in AI, right? In the show notes on SpinSucks, I have an outline drafted for you that's easy to copy and paste. Head over there and grab it, drop it into a doc, and you'll have it as your start to outline your first anchor hub. It includes all 11 things. So your headline, your too long didn't read, your problem frame, your definition, your method, your findings, your what it means bullet points, your frequently asked questions, your references, your downloads, and your author box. 11 things that you need for your anchor hubs. Pre-pipeline is where the decision happens, and most of it happens without you. Your job is not to flood the internet with more words. It's to become the page people and machines trust when they need a clean definition, a credible method, and a chart that they can drop into a deck today. That is visibility engineering. And the PESO model is how you operationalize it. Owned to prove, earned to corroborate, shared to simplify, and paid to scale what's already working. Start small and concrete. This week, pick one anchor topic that buyers and AIs are already asking about. Write the definition you'd be proud to see quoted, a 100-word method paragraph, and ship one clean chart with a source line. Add 3 neutral references, a tight frequently asked questions, and your author box. Then brief one analyst or trade editor and package a LinkedIn article that points back to the hub. And then you'll measure reuse. Are you showing up in AI answers, and is this anchor hub being quoted as the citation? Don't worry about page views to this. The whole point of this is not to drive more people to it. It's to drive the LLMs to scrape the page so that you're showing up in AI. If you do nothing else, do this. Tighten one anchor hub until it is the safest, best thing to cite. Everything good, media, invites, pipeline hires compounds from there. Because in this market, if you're not cited, you are not considered. Let's make you the obvious answer. If you want to learn more about visibility engineering and your anchor hubs, join us in the SpinSucks community. It's a great place to get advice, brainstorm ideas, and build real relationships with your peers. You can find us at spinsucks.com/community. That's spinsucks.com/community. And make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. We're posting tips, how-tos, cheat sheets, and more every week. I'll see you next week.